Hello there everybody, I'm Lisa and welcome to my YouTube videos. What I would like to do is pass on a few things that work for me here at my house that helps me to save money and put to use some very practical items that would normally get thrown away. Well, one of the things that I like to do is use these plastic bags. Now, every time you go to the store, you end up bringing home these plastic bags. Now, whether you shop at H-E-B, Walmart, Target, it doesn't matter. You always have these bags. Well, I take them here at the house. I'll take 2 or 3 of them and put them inside my waste bin in my kitchen. Well, every once in a while, one of them might leak, and it's usually coffee. So what I do to solve that problem is I line the bottom of my bin with newspaper. The newspaper is absorbent, soaks up anything that would leak through the sacks, and it makes cleanup a lot easier. Now, this works for me. Another thing that I use is the smaller bags that have the tendency to find their way to my house. I take the smaller sacks and I line the waste bins in my bathrooms and in my laundry room. Okay, that works. But I know that there are people who recycle back to the stores, and that's okay. I'd rather recycle here and put to use some of these things in order to help me save money and save time. And that's what works. Another thing that I like to do in the kitchen is line all of my bakeware with aluminum foil. Now, this pan's at least 20 plus years old, and that's why it looks a little rough, but that's all right. It still works. So I take my aluminum foil and I line my pan with it. I put my meal in the oven, bring it out, and serve. If there's nothing left in this foil, I simply wad it up and throw it in the garbage. If there is something left in this foil, it's good to roll up the foil, and it also works to store leftovers in the fridge. Okay? Now, every once in a while, I'll tear off a little more foil than what I actually need. So what I do is I use the edge of my cabinet, I tear off the excess foil, and I keep it. Every once in a while, I'll get a piece that's big enough to cover a bowl or another pan, but sometimes I'll get pieces that's really good for nothing, but I don't throw them away. What I do is I make myself a cup of tea. I'm a tea drinker, and I like to steep my tea before I drink it. So I take these smaller pieces of foil that's really good for nothing, and I place it on top of my teacup, and that works for me. Alright, my little grandma, I saw her go to her freezer many times and take meat out to cook for dinner, and whenever I saw her, her meat was always wrapped in bread wrappers. Now, I think this is a pretty neat little idea, because here at this house, I do use Ziploc snack bags, and I do use Ziploc sandwich bags, and I also use Ziploc freezer bags. But every once in a while, I forget to put the freezer bags on my grocery list. I'll buy groceries and come home. Well, I have all of this meat that I'm ready to portion out for meals and put in the freezer. Well, because I don't have my freezer bags, I reach for bread wrappers. It works for Grandma, and it works for me. I put my meat in one bag, I stick that bag into another bag, and then I take my Sharpie marker, I roll it tight, and I write on the outside of that bag what I just put in there. And that way, I know what's in the bag, and it's good to go. Another thing my little grandma did, save on the paper towels. She used brown paper bags. No matter what she fried, whether it was sausage, bacon, chicken, pork chops, she laid everything on a brown paper bag. Brown paper bags are very absorbent. They don't have a lot of use, so that's what I use brown paper bags for. Alright, another good use for the little brown paper bag and the bread wrappers, my husband takes his lunch to work in one of these. He'll use one for a week. He'll bring it home, I'll put it under the cabinet. The next time I go to fry something, I'll open up the brown paper bag, I'll put flour in for 2 people, shake, and I'll just put another good use to this brown paper bag. When I'm through with it, all I have to do is throw it away. And you know what? The same thing works for bread wrappers. Many times I've taken bread wrappers, put my flour in there, put my meat in there, gave it a good shake, cooked my meat, and then all I had to do was wad up the bread wrapper and throw it away. Now, these are a few things that works for me, that helps me save time, helps me save money, and I hope you can find 1 or 2 things that work for you. So, until later, you have a wonderful day. So long.